You know, 2015 is going to be one of those years where technology really explodes. And, of course, technology is going to impact the job market. You're going to see some new business sectors created. But what do you do if you're stuck in a job that you don't like? Is it the year to make a change? Joining us on our live line, she's been a scholar at Stanford University. She's held leadership positions at Apple, HP, Cisco, author of 11 books. The newest book is called Employed for Life, 21st Century Career Trends. We are pleased to welcome to WINT Dr. Tracey Wilen. Welcome to WINT, Dr. Wilen.
Oh, thank you, Stephen, Linda, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. All right, well, let's talk about how a digital world and a job market mix. What's hot for 2015, and is this a good year for people to maybe reevaluate and take the plunge?
Well, I think at all times people should be evaluating, so I think that's a good point that you're making there. But what I do is I look at different trends that may be occurring that people aren't aware of that could create opportunities. So I look at workforce trends, I look at societal trends, and I also look at sector trends, because jobs that can be created that didn't exist in the past.
So let me ask you, one of the first ones you have here, that millennials are moving up, that with the great number of people in the workforce that are reaching age 65 that are deciding to retire earlier, that there's not an adequate supply of new job candidates, and so those millennials are moving up sooner rather than later?
That's right, and that's an opportunity if you are a millennial and you want to move into leadership quickly, which many of our millennials do. The baby boomer population is very large, and Generation X, which is the next generation to fill the shoes, is actually quite small comparatively. So companies are looking now down into the pipeline, into the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, to say, are you ready to step up into leadership roles? And quite frankly, I think our millennials are. Many are highly educated and technical, and this is what we need for leadership in a digital world.
So let's talk a little bit about the average number of jobs a person has in their career. I know that the number of job stops has been increasing dramatically. Is that a trend that's going to continue? The ultimate 120, 30-year corporation type and get your gold watch and out, is that a thing of the past?
Yes. In fact, I would say the corporation today is a stop in your career adventure. It's not a destination. In 2011, the Bureau of Labor Statistics tallied how many stops were people at that time having, and it was 11 job changes. Now, many of the people who I interview with saying that's short on numbers here. We're really experiencing more like 15-plus job changes. And that's evident in the statistics around how many people are working as freelancers, contractors, and starting their own businesses. So the corporation as the destination with the gold watch is really something that's fading into the past. And we need to look at how to take that experience and develop our own career.
So let's talk a little bit about the sectors that you see offering the best opportunity in 2015. What would be the top one or two?
Well, sadly, I think security could be a safe bet for many people. You probably know in the news the Sony and the hacking
Sure.
Morgan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need people who can combat botnets, understand ethical hacking, train people on
we need good hackers.
That's right. And sadly, the second area is physical security, right? You read about the schools. You're concerned about running a marathon, going to airports. So people are stepping up in areas such as physical security and protection. And then, sadly, the third area in security is terrorism. We need undercover agents, forensic data analysts, cryptographics, bomb detection experts, nuclear. There's a whole new set of jobs that are just being created in the security sector. So I think that's one of them you may not naturally think of that could open up a lot of doors for people. The second one is healthcare. I just think that healthcare will continue as we age to be opportunities for employment, whether it's for the inactive adult in assisted living or for the active adult who wants to be at home and bring in home health care services, or you start using wearable technology to really monitor our own health. Jobs can open anything from the technology side to the service side, occupational therapists, home nurses, physical aides. So there's a lot of opportunity, I think, in healthcare.
Now, those are some of the things we have to do. How about some of the things we like to do, and as personal choices, the societal type trends?
See, I get excited about these because these are areas that people are actually creating jobs and opportunities, and it doesn't come to mind. So number one is we're on-demand society. We want everything: music on demand, shipping on demand, shopping on demand, food on demand with food trucks, and even our dates on demand. Well, if you think about that, time is a precious commodity. Services have been created to help us. And the jobs are in logistics. Think about Amazon, right? Think about transportation, Google Express. Think about call centers, online chat rooms, online retail. There are so many jobs that have just been created because we've become an on-demand society.
Well, let's talk about some of the things that people can make careers out of. I always enjoy watching the reality shows, and it's just an amazing thing. How many of these reality shows are based on food? I mean, Cutthroat Kitchen, Cake Restaurant Startup, a new one, Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay, Top Chef, all of these things. Are there opportunities in the food sector? Everybody's got to eat, right?
Oh, absolutely. I was looking at the numbers. Just three areas that didn't really exist before: organic food, gluten-free, and vegetarian. Right? Who knew that we needed these types of food categories in our lives? My goodness, I grew up with meat and potatoes.
Right.
I did not know that I could get a gourmet meal served to me on demand, by the way, delivered to my house for $9.95, thanks to Munchery or Blue Apron. I didn't know what quinoa was, or kale,
right,
or, Greek yogurt. But food, Americans need to eat. And so I think food will continue to drive opportunities. And these reality shows help make it real, whether it's farm to fork or farm to table. And now I hear that farmers are opening up restaurants in cities and netting almost as much as the Cheesecake Factory in revenues.
Whoa,
so,
that's heavy volume there.
Well, good for them because they've been beaten down a lot too, though. So good for those farmers.
Yeah. It's very exciting. I mean, I did not know there was like 46 plus different kinds of cupcakes. And people are creating whole businesses around cupcakes and popcorn. So I think that's a trend that is societal based. And if you look at each area, these are billion-dollar industries now, and people need to, there's opportunities for people to work in it, whether on the service side, the marketing side, the production side, the manufacturing side, or as a self-employed opportunity.
So where do people go to get this information, to fill themselves with the confidence and the desire and the security in knowing that, they're not alone out there, and this really is the way of the future, that you're not going to be stuck in a dead-end job forever. You can do something about it, and it might not even be the right one this time around, that it's okay to make a switch in another 2 or 3 years.
Oh, sure. And I would encourage people, because I am actually doing something right now called the Career Selfie. If you have had a career makeover, or if you're in the middle of a career change, send me your story, and I'm at TraceyWilen.com. My email is Tracey@TraceyWilen.com, and I'll send you a book, because what we're doing is collecting stories of people changing jobs or creating their own career adventures and sharing it with other people. So if you come to my website and tell me your story, I'd be happy to send you a book.
And that, again, is Tracey@TraceyWilen.com, TraceyWilen, TraceyWilen.com. Tracey, we appreciate your advice. We certainly look forward to some exciting times in the next 10, 15 years or so, because jobs are a-changing, and people need to adapt and be flexible, and ultimately maybe even make a whole lot of money.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.